What is up, everybody? My name is Wes. This is Top Shelfers, and we just got done beating Halo Combat Evolved on the Anniversary Edition Solo Legendary. It was quite a feat. Um, I do game reviews every time I beat a game. I think this is number. Actually, I can tell you, 24th game of the year so far that we've beat, and quite a classic. It really is. If this is your first time watching one of my reviews, I rate games on 10, sometimes 11 different categories. Those categories being graphics and visual, gameplay mechanics, story and narrative, audio and sound design, replay value, difficulty and balance, world design and exploration, performance and technical stability, community and multiplayer if applicable, innovation and originality, and hours versus dollars. So, this one's kind of hard because I bounce back and forth between the anniversary graphics and the original graphics, which you can do. And I don't think that since this was the anniversary edition, we're going to do this review based off of the anniversary, not necessarily the old school one, because even though they would be pretty similar in scores, I would look at them just a little bit different, right? Especially graphics and visuals. Because, like, for the 2000s, I thought Halo was one of the best visually appealing games, just in the sense of, like, the colors, the deep purples, the blues, the teals, the mismatching. But there is a lot of gray and browns mixed in there, too. With the new update, though, it really does look pretty good. And the Combat Anniversary came out 2011, which seems like a crazy amount of time. That's so weird to me. Um, I played on the PC, and it really does look pretty good. I don't have any complaints for a remaster of a game in the 2000s, or the early, I think it was 2000, and making a remaster 11 years later, and then we played it on the Master Chief Collection, which I think it bumped up the graphics even more. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8. Gameplay mechanics, so how smooth and intuitive the controls are, the complexity and depth of gameplay systems, and the overall enjoyment of the game. Halo's just fun to play. It really is. Now, would I suggest anyone who isn't really looking for a challenge hop into Solo Legendary? Absolutely not. You won't have fun. It's very difficult. It's very frustrating, and you have to pay attention to your resources and be able to aim. Which I say that half jokingly, but if you aren't hitting 70% of what you shoot from pistol, sniper, and shotgun and all that, like, you're gonna really struggle with the legendary mode. If you were just playing it on normal, I mean, it's a shooter, so the complexity and depth of gameplay systems, it's not hugely difficult, right? Like, you're running around and shooting shit. Um, but it runs really smooth. It always has. It's intuitive, and I enjoy it, so I'm going to give it a 7.5. Story and narrative. So the quality of the storyline, character development, dialogue, and how engaging and immersive the overall narrative experience is. For the standalone Halo, just by itself, I do think it has a pretty good story. It's not anything that's, like, groundbreaking, but for the time, it was a pretty big deal. I wouldn't say that was the main driving point of Halo when it originally came out. Now, the overarching story of Halo gets pretty in-depth and complex, and characters get flushed out. But for the first game, it's not anything that I would write home about. But it really does it sets the groundwork, and it is a pretty unique and interesting story. And for that, I am going to give it a 7. Audio and sound design, the quality of the sound effects, music, and voice acting, and how well they contribute to the atmosphere and overall gaming experience. Listen, the music and voice acting alone has always been one of the tops in any gaming franchise of all time. We all know, if you say Halo, you know what you're singing out loud. It was a meme for a long time, but it's just so iconic. Voice acting, I mean, Master Chief and Cortana are some of the biggest voice actors. Obviously, all the I honestly I can't say enough good about it. I'm gonna give it a 9, to be honest with you. I'm gonna give it a 9. Replay value, the extent to which the game encourages replayability through multiple endings, side quests, new game plus, multiplayer modes, and other factors. I was thinking about this one of the nights that we were playing the game, and I I really think this will probably be the last time I play that first Halo game. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but the only thing that would bring me back to this game now is Lasso, which I I don't even want to comprehend what it would take to do that. And what Lasso is it's legendary, all skulls on. And it makes the game, it makes legendary mode about 100 times harder. Maybe that's even an understatement. Maybe 1,000 times harder. It is no joke. But I just feel like over the years of playing Halo One and all the other Halos, like I think this is probably the last time I'll play it. But if you do get into the franchise now, like it is fun to run through it on normal and then challenge yourself on legendary, and then obviously the schools are there to keep you engaged and whatnot. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Difficulty and balance. How well is the game balanced in terms of challenge, difficulty progression, and fairness, catering to both casual and hardcore players? Legendary is not for a casual, plain and simple. I mean, I talked about that a little bit early on, but it is not something that you would hop into as a first playthrough and then expect to have fun, because you won't. You won't even make it past the cafeteria room on the first ship. Like it can be tough. However, with that being said, like if you are looking for a challenge, it is a game that I think is fair most of the time if you're playing with the intent, like playing with intention, meaning like you're paying attention to your resources, your grenades, your ammo. When is it a good time to switch weapon? Is it a good time to have a sniper now? Is it better to have a plasma pistol because you can take the shields off of some of the elites? Like, if you're thinking about those things, I think it is a fun challenge. There are some parts that are much harder than other parts, but what game doesn't have that? I'm gonna give it a 7. World design exploration, so the richness and detail of the game world, the diversity of environments, and the sense of discovery and exploration offered to the player. It's not an open world game in the sense of like you're running around. It's on rails in the sense, meaning like there's objective and objective, but you can still go look around. And they do hide little Easter eggs, being the skulls, or there's extra med packs or ammo if you just go walk around. I think the world's always been beautiful. It's always fun to go and explore. You always find a new nook and cranny that has XYZ. And then when you get into the later games, there's even more Easter eggs scattered throughout. I'm going to give it a 7. Performance and technical stability. So how well the game runs technically, including factors such as frame rate, loading times, optimization across different platforms, and the absence of bugs and glitches. I mean, we ran into on the remaster, there was a couple times where guns would like zone into the ground and they would start making this like fluttering noise, and it was kind of annoying. But outside of that, frame rates were good, loading times were never even something I thought about, and I play on PC on mouse and keyboard. Everything seemed optimized really well, so I don't think there's any issues on that front at all. I think that it runs well and you're not going to have any issues. Community multiplayer. There's obviously a huge multiplayer for Halo. I didn't jump into it. Maybe we'll revisit that later down the road, but we're not going to rate that. Innovation, originality. So the extent to which the game introduces fresh ideas, innovative gameplay mechanics, or unique twists on existing genres, contributing to its overall creativity and distinctiveness. The remaster didn't do any of that, right? But Halo, when it came out, in my eyes, as a gamer of that generation, Halo was one of the first FPSs outside of James Bond and GoldenEye that really, really like got me into shooters. And I played Counter-Strike, obviously, and I played Quake and all things like that, but Halo just really grabbed me. It changed how I looked at games, and I was young. I mean, we're talking 2000. I was a kid, but I think it was pretty innovative and took that next big step, making gaming more looked at in a more positive manner, even though it was still during the time of it's rated M, it's bloody, it's violent. I remember inviting some people in my neighborhood to come over, and they had to go home because they weren't allowed to be at places where there was mature rated games. Isn't that funny? But since we're ranking the anniversary edition, we're not gonna. I mean, there wasn't really any original, like anything new to the game except visuals. So we'll give it. I don't want to hit it too hard, but we'll just give it a 6. And then hours versus dollars. This is a weird one. So I have the Master Chief Collection, and you can get it. I mean, that says $4, which is crazy. Let's see what Amazon says. $48. So let's see what Steam says. Hold on. I mean, I beat. Oh God, not getting over it. Master Chief. Oh, spelled Chief wrong. $10 for the Master Chief Collection, and you get Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, Reach, and 4, I think, all for $10. I mean, I don't know much things that have been, you know, as great of value than that. So, I mean, that's easily a 10 in my eyes. It's so much value there. And all the multiplayers. So let's break out our handy dandy calculator and let's get ourselves a score here. A 7.7 out of 10. Pretty high. I don't know if I really agree with that score now that I'm thinking about it compared to like other games, but I mean, maybe comparing it to Fable Anniversary from that time period, I give Fable at 7.2. I would definitely think that I liked Halo more than Fable. You know, I think that's one of the higher rated ones, and maybe I'll change my opinion on that. I don't like to rank these based off like against each other, just based off of these, right? So I need to not worry about what other games are ranked on my side. I just need to worry about this. So anyways, let me know if you agree or disagree if you're a Halo fan. If you aren't a Halo fan, I'd love to know why. I do know some people who don't like it, and I never quite understood the reasoning, aside from they just didn't like the fantasy sci-fi element, which I guess makes sense, but it's a pretty great game. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.